I know it's been almost a week after the movie was released and after I watched the movie, but I'm already late for this movie, so let's make it a quick review.
Like we used to do.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is the 15th movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the 3rd movie in Marvel's Phase 3. Now in this movie, Guardians of the Galaxy are back, which is a continuation to Volume 1. And in Volume 2 now, the Guardians of the Galaxy are back as they travel through the cosmos and space as they try to find out about Peter Quill's past, about their parents and all that. But meanwhile, there might be villains who will come up to become good guys as Star-Lord tries to find out, also known as Peter Quill, will try to find out the truth of who he is behind all his past, and so as his parents himself. Now, when I was about to watch this movie, I know I got an early release for this movie, but the problem is that I got to study for national exam, and then after 3 national exams, I got 1 more, which is science, and I decided that I would just watch it in IMAX 3D, which is actually a good choice for me to do. And best of all, I got the IMAX poster, which you can see it on my Instagram post. Now, as I get to the movie, the beginning of the movie, yes, this is it. It's gonna be like the past and all that, which is same with the Volume 1, and then we get the scene, which is just like the trailer. I mean, the movie is kind of like the trailer a little bit, but a little bit more extension. And then we see go out through the middle of the movie, and then there's like all these things and all that, and also the villains and that. Like you kind of don't understand like what's the movie plot supposed to be about. And then as we find out at the end, yes, I mean possibly the Guardians of the Galaxy will be back, so it's probably different than what we saw in the trailer. But there are some scenes that I mostly enjoyed. So actually there were lots of great humors in this movie that I couldn't laugh. I couldn't barely do a single laugh at these humors because I didn't have the energy to do the laugh, but these humors were actually great. There was one time this happened and then that happened, which it's very hilarious, I have to say. The humor is very hilarious that I really want to laugh on it, but I couldn't. And now let's talk about the characters, which are lots of characters, and we're going to do it in a nutshell. Pratt, Peter Quill, Star-Lord, he's still the same thing as the main plot of this movie is to find out who his parents is, which we'll find out to it later on. Gamora is still Gamora, but sometimes she's a little bit fearless and all that, and probably problem with sisterhoods. Drax is still Drax, but this time he's no more of an angry person, and he's more of a laughable person, and sometimes his character gets too hilarious. Rocket Raccoon, yes, Rocket Raccoon is still Rocket Raccoon, but there's some hilarious things sometimes happen, but mostly there are more hilarious things happening to him. Baby Groot, Baby Groot, yeah, I mean, he's supposed to be the guy who stole the show in the movie, but I didn't get much attention to it. I mean, maybe we didn't have enough of Baby Groot, but I'm hoping to see more later on. Nebula, oh yes, Nebula, the sisterhood, yay, she's back. And this time things might get along as she becomes the good guy or the bad guy later on. Yondu, yes, Yondu is still Yondu. Yondu is still back. And this time Yondu, there are some hilarious things that happen with him. And then, yeah, there are some hilarious things. There's some funny things that going on throughout the movie. Sylvester Stallone is in this movie as well. And he didn't get enough scene. But actually, that's kind of fun me. But I'm hoping to see more of Sylvester Stallone in this movie. Sean Gunn. Yeah, Sean Gunn was this guy named Kraglin, which actually Kraglin was another Ravager, which actually pulls my attention away throughout the movie. Because I like the character, I like how he portrays in the movie, like he was a Ravager, but oh, he turns out to be a good guy. Mantis is actually an assistant, which is actually kind of dope. I mean, she actually kind of has that pure warm feeling and that like, oh, she can touch feelings and that, and then yeah, she's like, I don't know, a laughable person, but she's a kind person, we have to say. And yes, this is Star-Lord's father, played by Kurt Russell, named Ego. And Ego is supposed to be a living planet, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, he is a living planet out of a human form, which you will find out later on in the ending, which I am not going to do in the spoiler-free review. Now actually there are lots of music in this movie. The music, Volume 2, is very different to the first volume of the movie. I mean, I kind of like Volume 1, but Volume 2 actually has a little bit of the vibe. I mean, we heard some parts of Volume 2 in the trailer, but compared to this one, I mean, there's one song that I like. There's that one scene that this showed up, and yes, I kind of like it. I have to say this, but Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is another awesome galactic Marvel mix to the next volume. I know I can come up with a perfect critic, but since I see this movie in IMAX, I think it's a good idea to see it in IMAX 3D, obviously. Yes, sorry, this movie review is kind of late, and I'm going to do it as fast as possible because I got things to work on, and possibly this week I'll be seeing Alien Covenant and also King Arthur Legend of Sword, which I'll be doing my review on later on, but that was my review on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Here is the outro. That is all for this video. If you do enjoy this video, give it a like. That would be very helpful. And in the description, you'll find 2 links so you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Google+. I appreciate you guys for watching this. Now, till another time. Bye-bye.